storyteller and educator, and I am the co-founder of a firm called Story Knack. But before I take you all along to my story, may I please request you all to switch on your camera for a few moments, please? Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's take this one quick moment to thank this hero amongst us. I would want to call him a hero, who's created, initiated, implemented, and I would say, yes, created this grandiose, stupendous gala festival. And I'm talking about Eric Miller here, Dr. Miller here. So let's take a moment. We are in Zoom land. So let's give him a big, big, big round of applause before I just go on. I can't move on.
Eric,
Yes.
great, hooray, Eric.
Yeah, and look at the kind of energy he has. I am up from 4:30, and this man is up from last evening 6 p.m. and he's not gone for any tea break or lunch, breakfast or anything. So I cannot start without taking this moment to thank you, Eric, for creating this very, very grand festival and making me a part of this. And also, I want to thank you for one more thing, for choosing such an apt theme for the festival. That's healing, mindfulness, transformation, and I'm sure everybody would agree that this is what we need in post-pandemic era. That we need stories about healing, we need stories about transformation, we need stories about mindfulness. And since I'm a mindfulness practitioner, I have chosen to share stories around mindfulness. And before we begin on the story, or before I even start the story, let me take you all to that, to one of those olden times where, the tellers and the listeners would sit in a circle with fire around, in the center. So if we can just close our eyes for a quick moment and visualize that there is fire in the center, and as tellers and as listeners, we all are sitting around it. And if you have visualized that, you can open your eyes and you all can see the fire. Can you? Great. And now just take the warmth of the fire. Can I see everybody taking the warmth of the fire? Rub your hands, put them on your eyes, cross your hearts, and please gently pass the warmth to the other tellers. Yes, just let the warmth go to them, to all the tellers, to all the listeners, because this is what we need. And this, my dear friends, is mindfulness. Being in that moment, cherishing the power of now, cherishing to be in that particular joyous or whatever moment you're in, without thinking much about what's going to happen next. In fact, Buddha explains the concept of mindfulness in a very short, beautiful story. And I would love to start with that to understand mindfulness even more. So, one of the evenings, Buddha was just going to meet his disciples, and he was carrying a piece of article in his hands. And when the disciples looked at him, they felt rather unusual because it was very strange for Buddha to carry a materialistic thing in his hands. When he came close by, he just showed the article that he was carrying, the piece of material that he was carrying, and he showed them like this. He said, "What do you think it is?" So one of the disciples just very quickly responded and said, "It looks like a silk scarf." He nodded. Buddha nodded. And then he started making knots in that silk scarf. He kept on doing that until he got some 3, 4, or 5 knots. He kept on doing that, and the disciples kept on looking at him that what is Buddha trying to teach today? What is running in his minds? And once Buddha got some 4 or 5 knots, he showed the scarf again to his disciples like this, and again asked them, "What do you think is this now?" So, is this the same scarf? So the disciples looked at him, and one of them responded, said that, "Well, it's the same scarf, but it has got knots now." So Buddha said, "Well, you're all the Buddha and the silken scarf, but you can't see because you have knots in them. I am the same silk scarf, but I don't have knots. He further went on to explain that, what do you think I'm doing? So he kept on pulling the two ends, like one end and the second end. And he said that, do you think by pulling, will I be able to untie these knots? And the disciples said in unison, they just responded together that, no, no, no. This way you might further tighten the knots. So he smiled. And he said, then, my dear friends, my dear children, why do you keep pulling your knots? In fact, why do you always try to solve? Why do you always try to fix your knots by pulling them? By knots, he meant our inner situations, our inner difficulties, our inner problems. Why do we try to fix them always by pulling them, while we know that by this we will tighten them further? And then he further went on to explain, saying that if we practice mindfulness, it's about watching them, watching the situations, observing them carefully. Sit back, take rest, go easy, observe. In fact, one of the disciples also said that one way to untie this knot would be to come closer, observe the pattern, and then may try to untie it. And in the end, we might end up loosening them. And this is what mindfulness is. And this is how we practice mindfulness, that by taking things easy, by observing, by watching, and not always try to fix them. So, moving on to my story now is a story about what we need the most. And what is it is something which we'll figure out towards the end. The story goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a king. And one fine evening, the king was going and looking around his kingdom along with his minister. And soon enough, he reached a farmland. And there he saw a farmer along with his family, the farmer, wife, and his son. And what he saw was strange. They were beaming with joy. They were laughing. They were giggling. They were singing. There was joy all around. And there was life. They were just so full of energy. And their love and affection was so evident in the way they were behaving. It was there in their eyes. The king frowned and looked at his minister and said, "Oh man, I have everything what a man could desire for. Yet these people are so more happier than me. How and why?" The minister looked at the king, smiled, and said, Your Majesty, because this family is not a member of 99 Club. The king just again frowned and said, 99 Club? What is this 99 Club? The minister said, Well, give me 99 gold coins and I shall tell you. The king quickly got a bag full of 99 gold coins, handed over that bag to the minister. But before he could say anything, the minister said, Your Majesty, wait for 6 months and then I shall tell you. So he kept quiet and they both left the place. But before leaving, the minister took that bag of gold coins and kept it right at the doorsteps of that farmer. And then he left. The next morning, the farmer woke up and he saw this unusual bag lying at his doorsteps. He quickly went out, picked up that bag, which was rather heavy, and when he just opened it, he screamed with excitement. He was completely surprised, excited. Lo and behold, he had never seen such fortune. He had never seen even one, and there he was seeing a bag full of gold coins. He quickly emptied the contents on the floor and he started to count. And in sheer excitement, he just counted and they were 99. He said, No, I have done a mistake. So he again counted them. They were 99. This way, again counted. They were still 99. He counted for at least 5 times because he kept on thinking that, no, maybe I'm overexcited and that's why I'm counting them wrong. But every time he counted, they were 99. And then he thought to himself, oh man, who's this fellow who has donated me not 100 but 99 coins? Why did he forget to put that one extra coin? My God. And then he called his wife. He said, look, I'm doing an error here. I think I'm counting them wrong. Why don't you just count? The wife politely agreed. She counted. They were still 99. Then he said, no. There is some error. Let's call our son. And he called his son and asked him to count. Poor son, he also counted. They were still 99. Then he said, oh God, they are 99. I have to work so much hard now to earn that one extra gold coin. For I'm so poor, it would take me months and years to get that one extra gold coin to make it 100. And then he just started to work. Well, the wife thought to herself that what a nut her husband is. He has 99 gold coins, but he's not spending even one. So that one fine morning, she took out 2 gold coins, went out for shopping, and spent them. Farmer every day would come and count the coins. And this particular evening, when he came back and counted, they were 97. He screamed and yelled, oh my God, till yesterday they were 99 and today they're 97. What happened? The wife just quietly said, well, I am not a nut like you. You've not been using these coins. I just picked 2 coins and spent them. The man yelled at her and said that I'm toiling my sweat and blood to earn that one extra coin to make the count to 100, and you just spent 2. Well, the next morning, boy took 2 more and spent. 6 months passed by. The king and the minister were again passing through the same farmland. And they happened to be outside this farmer's house. The joy had gone, life had gone, songs had gone, music had gone. There was no life. There was only bickering, arguments, and fight. The king again frowned and said, oh, man, what could have happened in 6 months that changed these people so much? The minister still smiled and told the king, Your Majesty, this family is officially now a member of 99 Club. The king screamed and he said, man, I gave you 99 gold coins. Now you better tell me what on earth is this 99 Club? The minister said, Your Majesty, 99 Club is a club of those who have 99 coins, but in the race of running for that one extra coin, they don't even use those 99 that they have. And the learning from this story, my dear friends, I'm sure what we all will pick up is what I want to mention is that in the search of that one extra coin, we forget to even use what we already have. Which also goes on to say that in the search of our destination, we forget to enjoy the journey. Today might be chaotic, today might look challenging, but why postpone our satisfaction? Why postpone it to then? Why postpone our happiness to then or to future? We should, and we must always remember that happiness is a journey, not a destination. And here is when I would like to stop, and that's the end of my story. Hope I could resonate well with you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Anybody? Any thoughts? Rena.
Sonia, I just wrote, it's a brilliant story. I don't know where it comes from or what, or if it's brilliant. And it just reminds me of all the times that I get stuck in that place of having so much abundance and thinking only of what I'm missing and what's lacking, and how I work to pull myself out of that and to see. You know, my mother, when I was little, she used to say, count your blessings. And I used to just hate that. Count your blessings. And I was miserable about something. And it took many, many, many years for me to finally realize that that's the only way to go, is just to look around and be grateful and not get stuck on what's missing in your life. So thank you. It's a brilliant story.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reena, for your kind words. And I'm glad that you resonated so much with the story. Thank you.
Hello, Sonia. It's a really nice story. You know, it just, you have given me a new story which I heard, somewhere else in some of my training program. It's like there is a monkey and he's putting his hand to grab the nuts, but because of the first moment he cannot get it out. So you're like sometimes you have to let it go. But then your version is like, I would be telling to someone to that story. Now not be telling that monkey story. Now I would be telling this one. So yeah, it's a good one to give me a new story for that same thing, and it's really interesting the way you tell. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pushkar. Thank you so much. Yes, I have heard that monkey story as well. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Sonia, may I?
Please.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 Poonam, I can.
I had a feeling that I'm not audible. Okay. So, Sonia, thank you so much for giving another reminder, though it's always on our minds, but we sometimes tend to forget, because after all, we are all human. Something or the other catches our attention and we start running that side. But let me tell you that 2 years ago, I started practicing for a triathlon and I just worked very hard and I finished it on the final day. And the final day just got over in 8 hours. Whereas what I remember today is all the journey, the time that I spent preparing for it. So actually the journeys are any day more beautiful than the final outcome of whatever you do. And that has been a constant reminder ever since. And listening to your story is like keeping it there all the time. Yes, you have to be living in the present moment. And your Buddha story was beautiful. We all know most of the things, but we need constant reminders. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So thank you so much,
Lovely
Poonam.
story.
Thank you. And your journey is anyway inspiring, Poonam. Not many of us would reach that destination, but when you share your journey on and off, through social media, it is very inspiring. Very, very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually it was nice. The voice modulation is wonderful because whenever you are talking, it was really, I enjoyed it because it's not everyone, we always tell a lot of people, be a storyteller, but most of the time, and also for that. That's what we do. And sometimes, though the storyteller was not that prominent, it was the modulation of the person. I like it. And a couple of other things, technology is very good way to tell better than this. That's like very well. And that one thing is not. And when I saw the video, there were two violet dots on the back.
Yeah, that's because of the light reflection. Probably I'm using a ring light, so maybe because of that there is a reflection that's coming on my glasses. Is it is it better? Is it better now? His voice is breaking, Eric.
Yeah, voice is breaking.
Yeah, his voice is
Yeah,
breaking.
yeah.
I can't. So your voice is breaking, so we can't hear you. No. We still can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute him. Okay.
So thank you
Beautiful.
so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you told it very beautifully.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Sonia. Actually, I am not a member of 99 Club.
Great.
I
to
live
know.
for the day. I live for the day.
That's good. That's very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
all the
you.
kind words.